Warning! The following episode of Orsini's Uncensored Mind contains explicit language and adult content. The thoughts and opinions stated on this show are reflective of AJ Orsini, the Steve Dave, and their guests exclusively. Seriously, guys, my dada and uncle say some pretty crazy stuff. If it offends you, go be butthurt somewhere else.
Welcome to Orsini's Uncensored Mind, and now your host, AJ Orsini with Dave.
How the hell is everybody out there? These are your boys, your main men, the Jive Soul Brothers from specifically, this has been checked. We came from the same exact mother, and normally I would set up by saying, hey, Dave, are you there? Blah, blah. But you can see him right now. He's right there. He's in the crib in the casa, home of the reigning NFL Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles. That's where he's at here, and I'm in the gloomy, cloudy area, greater New York area up here. And we are here today for a special time. We're here today on what should be a tremendous occasion. This is supposed to be tremendous. It's supposed to be a high octane, high intensity episode of Orsini's Uncensored Mind because it is episode 300. 300. That's a 3 with 2 zeros after it. I was going to do originally when we were talking about the possibility of reaching 300. I had all these ideas in my head, but it has been a whirlwind of things happening here at the house of O. I've had a wife who had been sick nonstop for 30 straight days. 30 straight days of it's like a relay race. You know, when they have the 4-team relay and the first person runs with the baton and then the second person gets the head start and then they pass the baton and they keep the momentum going and they keep the race going until all 4 people have gone. So it was the first runner was a migraine and it ran for like a week, and then they passed the baton on to her period, and then her period came and ran around the track and then passed the goddamn baton to cold flu-like symptoms for another week, and that son of a bitch went around the track and then bam, tagged fucking migraine right back into the race. That motherfucker couldn't stay on the bench for long. He had to come out of here and shine. So she's not only currently still feeling the symptoms of being sick, but I think she's going to be sick for the foreseeable future. I think I may need to invest in a new wife. This one seems to be burning out quicker than I thought. I now know not to go to Amazon because they can't handle couches. So I know for a fact I'm not going to be able to handle
your wife. No
spouses. This is not going to work out that way. So, but no, she's in another room convalescing. Making sure that I'm trying to make sure my son doesn't murder her through telepathy at this point. He's another one who's been up and down. Then, of course, the passing of a very good friend just last week. The GoFundMe, by the way, very successful. They achieved their goal within the day. I think that the GoFundMe went up. They had a goal of 10,000, and they reached, the last I saw it, it was like at 12. So that was really, really good. Chris Jericho with the $1,000 donation. Anthony Cole, who was the promoter of Breed Championship Wrestling, he put in 1,000. Several other wrestlers within the industry who knew Vince chipped in. The job was set and the job was done. Like I think within 24 hours they got it. So that tells you something about the man, folks. Tells you something about the man. They all stepped up and got the job done. Family is in the process now of getting those services completed. So we'll see what's going on with that. So it's been a whirlwind time. This 300 came at an awkward time, but I didn't want to completely skip it and not acknowledge it at all. So what's going to happen on the show here today is the first half of our show. We'll be talking about us. We're going to be talking about some moments that we've had here on OUM, 300 episodes. There's a lot to get to, a lot to talk about. We've had some really cool moments. So we're going to be talking a lot about that. We have a brand new Hall of Fame inductee. The inductees, I should say. It's a tag team. The tag team induction going to Earthquake and Typhoon, the natural disasters. I didn't get a chance to talk about this when this was an actual story a few years ago, but they have rendered a decision. Cain Velasquez, former MMA heavyweight champion. The whole story went down with them a while ago, and now it's down to sentencing that was announced today. So we'll talk a little bit more about that, get more into specifics, what went down, what the court case is looking like, what the sentencing is all about. And of course, in our main event, I have to say goodbye to another friend, not a passing. This individual did not pass away. He's not dead, but his career has come to an end. Of course, we have to talk about the end of an era, the end of the 187 era. Homicide, my mentor, the mentor of every NYC performer over the course of the last 20 or something years, has called it quits. He's hung up the boots here in Brooklyn, which is the perfect way for his story to end. So we'll talk about that in our main event. We are here to talk about 300 episodes of OUM. Now, I have to pull this up. I pulled this up. I made this sometime this week, and I wanted to. I want to go through the 3 year. Where's the 3 year? So, just for the sake of the conversation as we move forward, where is here? I should have gotten this ahead of time. Here we go. 3 years. There it is. Episode 160. Which is the 3-year episode, I believe, episode 160. That would be the full-time debut of you here on the show as a podcast co-host. You came in episode 160. So technically speaking, you have done more than half of the episodes on the show by about 10 episodes. You've done more than half.
This is 140 for me, 300 for you.
Yeah. And I don't know if you remember, but you actually made your debut before that. You were an episode way earlier. You were episode somewhere in the 40s. There you go, 45. 45. You were episode 45. You were one of the earlier episodes. I knew you weren't going to remember when I brought it up. You came over and visited one time, and
this was in the same room.
We were in the same room, yes. And this was during the time where I was really only able to do the podcast that way. I hadn't expanded out into the networking stuff like I'm doing now. But yes, and I'm going to read. This was the episode description. It was, of course, episode 45. The brothers O. I finally achieved my goal of getting my brother on the show. That's right, brother O. Uncle Dave is in the house, and we gab like crazy. Straight conversation, no format, just bantering back and forth on whatever popped into our head, and it was a lot of fun. We talked the Attitude Era, Kane's greatness, video game of choice, how to break through the glass ceiling in WWE, and of course, he dishes on what it was like to grow up with the world's most annoying wrestling fan, me. This one is very close to my heart. Enjoy. And then that was 45, and then, of course, I just mentioned all these episodes later. 160, the 3-year
I'd be interested to hear that glass ceiling conversation.
Well, I'm glad. Whoa, man, it was almost like you read my mind, because guess what? I actually clipped it out a long time ago. It's on the newly rebranded YouTube channel, folks. That's very easy. OJOUM, and just put glass break or glass ceiling, WWE, whatever you want to type in. You can actually find the actual segment on the actual, just that piece. If you don't want to listen to the whole episode, although you should, it's a very entertaining episode. But if you don't want to listen to the whole thing, the actual segment is actually there. It is right here. It's 11 minutes, 11 and a half minutes of your time.
Okay.
How to break the glass ceiling in WWE. We solved WWE's problem in 11 minutes. That's it. If you're a WWE superstar right now. Did I listen to it?
Recently, yeah.
Recently? No, I have not really listened to it recently.
I'm interested on what we say there. Because I wonder if any of that is kind of relevant to what's going on right now.
Hey, like I just said, it's on the YouTube channel. If you want to spend 11 minutes, we can bring it back next week if you want. But yeah, it's definitely something that we talked about. Of course, you knew we had to bring up one of your favorites, Kane. Kane obviously came up. That's your boy. That's your guy. So we definitely came up with that. But I brought this up. I took all the descriptions, put them together because I've done 300 episodes. And sometimes it is difficult to remember, especially some of the earlier episodes. So obviously, I've been recently been editing up the full episodes to put onto YouTube. And the reason why I say editing is because a lot of my earlier episodes included music that it shouldn't have, and I just didn't care at the time because I was just having fun with the show. I've had to edit out Jinder Mahal's theme music a couple times. I got a little theme happy with that one a few times. But yeah, a couple of times I've used audio that wasn't supposed to be there, so I had to do some editing with that. But it's all going up on the YouTube channel, little at a time, little at a time. Apparently, I uploaded episode 4. It has not been released yet. It's just been uploaded. It's in the private group right now. But I was uploading episode by episode, and I would either get a copyright strike for some audio or no copyrights. And I got to episode 4, and it said, not only do you have a copyright for audio, but we're limiting your audience to 18 and over. And I was like, what the fuck happened to that one? And I realized.
I mean, you're kind of uncensored. Your whole gimmick in the beginning was to be a little over the top.
The thing is that all of the episodes sound like that. So I was wondering why this specific one was the one that got restricted. And then I put it together in my head. The episode is originally titled "Fuck Teeth," so apparently
that's the one you went off of a rant about your teeth.
Yeah, that was the one that I was going on a rant about my teeth hurting. And apparently, the issue with YouTube was that I kept the title, so I labeled it "Fuck Teeth." Because I copied and pasted. I wasn't really thinking about all that other shit. But because I labeled it and titled it "Fuck Teeth," and I had "fuck" in the title, it restricted me. So when I took "fuck teeth" out and just put episode 4 tooth pain, then it said good, acceptable.
You did the title "Fuck Teeth." You look over, the guy in the back's like, you're like, teeth pain? He's like,
we'll take that. Okay.
Like, oh, teeth pain.
Yeah. So a lot of the earlier episodes is literally just me. They're an hour long for the most part. My first actual guest, which is kind of cheating, like the first other voice on the show was Steph at episode 11. That's cheating because she fucking lives here. So that was an easy guest to get. But I didn't get, I had episode 4 was Fuck Teeth. And then episode 13, Fuck Teeth 2, The Teeth Strike Back. That was when my tooth pain came back. If you listen to episode 4, I had tooth pain and they went in and they did the root canal. For the second episode, the reason why my teeth started hurting again is because the guy who did the root canal, I don't know what he did, but he got infected, so they had to undo the root canal. They had to canal the root. I don't know. They reversed it. Some shit. They ended up just pulling the whole tooth all together. It was a gigantic pain in the ass.
Some of your best old clips were just you bitching about life.
Yeah.
Just fucking venting about your day.
Not much has changed about that. I'm just bitching to you about it now. Okay. Episode 14 for a while was considered one of my better episodes because that was the one, episode 14, Kayfabe, Dead or Alive, ? And that to this day is the only episode where the whole hour is just that one topic. I didn't really do a lot of other topics for that episode because I was just so heated about that one that it ended up being the whole fucking hour. So that, and then for that one, for a long time, that ended up being really good. Episode 16 was interview with El Rey, AC Negro. He's my first guest ever on the show. A motherfucker drove to my house. He lives in Queens, which is, if you live in the 5 boroughs, he went from deep end Queens to deep end Brooklyn to come to be in my house. And I tried to reward him greatly. I made sure I had, we had catering almost like. I got him some food. You know, I got him some drink. I got him some actual drink he drank too. One of his drinks of choice was Patron. I tried to make sure, you know, hook a motherfucker up. You know, he came all the way to the crib. You know, he's a good friend of mine, but at the same time, I wanted to make it worth his while. That was a fun interview. That was one of the first times that uh, I had someone in the house like doing like real like interview, not like even now where I do it over the StreamYard thing, but like this dude was in my house at Ralph's poker table while I had all the equipment out. We were just fucking busting it, having drinks and just fucking busting it up. The very next episode, I topped myself with the first round table we ever did, which was the Royal Rumble. So this was Mrs. O, Maddie Ming, and Ian Emelech. I refuse to say his name. I know how to say it now, but I refuse to say it because it's funnier that way. And those motherfuckers also came to my house, and it was late. I think, if I'm not mistaken, he can correct me if I'm wrong. I think I Ubered him home because it was so late, and so like we had to get him back to Queens. He's also another motherfucker from Queens. But I got these first couple of interviews here. The GOAT obviously had to get the GOAT on the show. Good friends of mine. They went to my house. Did a couple things here. Interview episode 25 was considered an interview because I was the one getting interviewed. My wife was interviewing me, asking me the hard-hitting questions. I did my first couple of WrestleMania episodes earlier in the beginning. 31, the comic book discussion. That's when Brandon came over. All this stuff happened. Mike Law. Interview with Mike Law.
I remember that one was a good one.
That one, this motherfucker was in my house. The one before that, 32, this was one of the first ones I did. It always stood out to me because it was one of the first times that I spoke about something that was tremendously popular at the time, but in a negative way. So this one was America's Dad No Longer. This is when we talked about Cosby, when the whole Cosby deal first came out, and we were fucking all over it. We were just talking all kinds of wild shit about that one. This is when I started getting crazy with the titles, when Thanos balanced TV because we were losing TV shows. Canadian Crap Catastrophe, one of my favorite titles ever. That was when we did the what the fuck segment. I can't remember. But it was when the lady, Tim Hortons, shit in her hand and threw it at the cashier because she was upset. That was a good time. Good time for had. Interview with rock god Ronnie Burton. Ronnie, I just recently edited this fucking interview. He was such a cool dude. Ronnie, I'm looking at the camera. Ronnie, where are you, Ronnie? What happened? I tried to tell you this business is a cruel mistress. I tried to tell you. You didn't want to listen to me. But you got to come back. Episode 38, Defamation Wars, Return of the Cyst. You see that? You see that word play right there? God damn, I'm fucking awesome at this, right? Episode 39 was very bougie. It was the art of the valid opinion, right? And we broke it down. Every asshole has an opinion that every single one of them fucking matters. And that's what we broke it all down. And some of these I'm reading today, we break down 3 major matches for Money in the Bank, the awesomeness of NXT TakeOver Chicago, Big Cast being released, Father's Day activities, and Incredibles 2. That was when they took me to go to the movies for Father's Day. It was time to bring the social media conversation to the show. So I discussed the anti-WWE movement, why wrestling fans should get along and end this foolish war. I got attacked recently for some thoughts I had on people's opinions, so I clarified things on here. And once again, it's time for some tough talk. Ooh, look at me. Speaking from the heart. That's another situation where, I had a meltdown on that one. Yeah, I actually wrote that shit in here. Had a meltdown on the thing. The weekend of O. This is when we had like some sort of weekend trip. 30 topics with Maddie Ming. Maddie Ming came to the house a few fucking times, and he's been hitting me up recently about coming back on the show. I'm just waiting for the right time to unleash the beast. I need a situation where this motherfucker could really go off. Yeah. The evolution we did. I did a round table. No, this one here, the evolution is here is just when talking about the announcement of the actual pay-per-view. Then we had
you did a round table with women only, didn't you?
Women
you
only.
weren't even in there, I don't think.
No. I ended up being on the episode, but the original plan when I first discussed it with them was that Steph was going to host it because I wanted it to legitimately be all women. And then all the women showed up at my house and were just like, let's not do that, including Steph. Steph was like, let's not do that. So I was like, all right, fine. But yes, and since they're bringing it back, we will do that again. I'd like to bring on the ladies and see what's going on with that. Obviously, they won't be all women. It'll be me, you, and then we'll just be smothered in bitches. We'll see what happens, how that episode goes. That's not progressive, I know, but I'm sure the women that I bring on here will be friends and they'll understand the joke. Mrs. O and the Great Eyebrow Conundrum. That was a weird time. So there's a few. Oh, was this the SummerSlam? There was a SummerSlam where I was in Florida, and I was so determined to not miss a week that I still did the show in Florida. I recorded it off of, I forgot what fucking device, and then I edited it. I had my laptop, but I forgot what I recorded it on, and then I still got it up. I'm telling you, for like 3 or 4 straight consecutive years, I didn't miss a fucking week. I was on it every fucking time. Episode 53, 3 topics, 2 taboo for OUM. That was when I kind of broke down the 3 topics that we do not discuss here on the goddamn show. You want to find out what those 3 are? Head over to episode 53. The attitude versus the reality, battle of eras. We sat down. Man, we really broke this down. Live 1-year anniversary special. That's the first time I ever went live, and it wasn't in my home. I took a train and I want to say 2 buses to some spot in Jersey where a buddy of mine was able to do the Connecticut School of Broadcasting. That's what he was working at. And we got the booth. We got the booth and everything. I was looking.
Oh, listen, I remember that. People were like calling in and shit.
Yeah, I was looking snazzy. I was feeling myself. I was feeling good. Okay. And not for nothing. That was a good time. I just recently found out, I haven't been to that building in a long time. I just recently found out they tore that building down. It doesn't even fucking exist anymore. Couldn't go back if I wanted to. Couldn't go back if I tried. Episode 59 is the Evolution Roundtable. Told you so. Oh, this is episode 60. I told you so. History and bubble guts. That was fun. Episode 69. Orsini 69's his wife. That was the name of the episode. And so obviously she was on the episode that day. Down with the sickness. Look, it's been happening since forever. Episode 61, down with the sickness. The past few days have been terrible for the House of Vote. We've all been sick, and it held back the episode, but we did it, and it's here. I'm telling you, for forever. This house is always sick. Episode 62, Excelsior, a Stan Lee tribute. We did that when he had passed away. I remember having an angry as fuck episode. I think I just scrolled past it, but I did Angry AF2, Dick Pick-a-Palooza. That's when we had to step up and address all the unsolicited dick pics going around the industry at that time. We had to address the issue. Bad. Put your dicks away, boys. We had to have a stern come to Jesus meeting on that one. Put your dicks away, boys. I had an episode 64 just called Accountability. I don't know who I was mad at that day, but they needed to hold themselves accountable, I guess. Indie wrestling, the repackaging of a freak athlete. Man, we really did. Man, the story of the new House of O. We did this episode. Oh my God, that was episode 68 when we moved into this place.
Jeez.
Yes. Now we're starting to get more into the AEW area. I had the interview with Montequilla, House of Glory Crown Jewel Champion, also in my house, followed by Roundtable with a bunch of motherfuckers in my house. And this was fun with Ian. Top 10 WWE in your house pay-per-views. We broke it down. All of our favorite in your houses. Look at this. I was taking shots early. Look at my consistency. Episode 77. Kofi's time, past or present. We went after the motherfucker. I'm trying to tell you. Before his Lifetime Achievement Award, it was a real conversation, folks. I'm telling you. Episode 78. Roman's very real situation. Ooh, we're talking about leukemia. That's what happened.
Shut the fuck up. I don't like the way you whisper that into my ear.
He said leukemia. Wow, episode 79. And I'm glad I'm seeing this because this episode it was this close to being a lightning round. The only reason why it wasn't is I wanted more time to talk about Homicide. But The debut of the Lightning Round, episode 79. What were the topics? Bruce Pritchard returns to WWE. Tommaso Ciampa's neck injury. Mustafa Ali returns. Ronda Becky Twitter feud. NXT call-ups. Hall of Fame discussions. Taker not sure he'll be at Mania. Evolution not picked up for another year. Dean Ambrose's employment. Tattoos and wrestling. Shield reunion part 4? Question mark. Elite not at the Garden for the G1. Jarrett versus Anthem. I guess that's when TNA was doing its thing. Lufisto's retirement and working relationship in pro wrestling. My goodness, boy, what a full line of work there. We did a bunch of like fucking WrestleMania. WrestleMania is always big, not just in my life, but on this show. Did a couple here. This one was kind of a pain in the ass to do. So, episode 86 is the only time we ever did the same episode in 3 parts. Because it was so goddamn long, I literally broke it up to the fucking thing. Here you go, 3. We did the whole MCU, phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3 in one night. And it took forever to fucking do. Several hours. So I just broke it down by phase. So each episode was its own phase. So that was episode 86A, 86B, and 86C. So now that I'm looking at this, I'm really behind because we didn't do phase 4 and we're almost done with phase 5. We're about to enter phase 6 in about a year or so. So I better get on this. Jesus Christ. The War is Coming, episode 89. That's AEW and WWE. The talking points for Double or Nothing. Jesus Christ. PTSD. Episode 92. This fucking chair. That was when I had that fucking horrible chair before this one. My wife hated that fucking chair. It looked like that chair looked like what a survivor at Hiroshima would have looked like. Like it was just unfleshed. It was destroyed. And every time you'd move, you don't have to be in it. If it was in the room and we had to move it in the middle of the night to get by it, it just made like this crazy sound. It was insane. Episode 95, modified version of the Asian taint to face slap. That was a title based on a story that I told of something that I had watched in my neighborhood, which you know is predominantly Asian. And somebody got pissed off, put their hand in their pants, got what they had down there, and came up with a goddamn slap. The absolute most disrespectful slap I've ever seen in my entire life. Episode 98 was a very cool one because that was my interview with LAX. That was Mike Santana and Ortiz. They were the TNA/Impact World Tag Team Champions at the time that I interviewed them. So they were at the top of their game. Probably the most popular tag team on planet Earth when I interviewed them. And I only interviewed them because, well, not my reason. I'm just saying I only had access to them because they're amazing guys. Because they never forgot who their friends were. They didn't let it get to their heads. A buddy of theirs had a podcast starting up, and they decided to chip in and give old Orsini the rub. So I'm ultimately appreciative of that. Obviously, episode 100 was a big celebration. We had a lot of. I'm skimming ahead now. I want to get a little bit more closer. Episode 109 was the interview with the Torres family. That's Jose Tito Torres, who will be on this show very, very soon. We did an interview with his family. His family was one of my first fans, I guess you could say, a fan of my work. Followed me and went to a lot of my shows, followed me on social media. It was a big help. So I wanted to kind of support their case because at the time they had a son who was ill and had Duchenne muscular dystrophy, I believe it's what it was. It was an atrophy of the muscles, especially in the legs. And he was wheelchair. His name was Jason. And we used to take him to a lot of shows. When he went to the Luda shows, they used to pick the chair up the steps for him so he can go up into the show and all that other stuff. And he passed away recently, Jason, about a year or so ago. But so this interview is really, really special because they don't have their son anymore. But this particular interview is like I want to say 70% him talking. So just imagine like emotionally where that would take you, or it's just like, your son was here 1 minute, now he's not. And luckily somebody came to the house and had this moment with him where he's just speaking so freely about so much of the stuff that he loves. And it was a really cool conversation. I hold that one pretty close to the heart. That's a pretty cool one. Playing pro wrestling, catch up, angry. Oh, angry as fuck 4. Self-assessment. See? Taking accountability for my own bullshit. Episode 115 is Matthew Travis. That was a whole episode on just Maddie. Another good friend of mine who passed away, who did not pass away in the ring, nor was it wrestling related. There was an unfortunate. He was hit by a garbage truck, which is no joke, and the driver for that garbage truck was in a lot of fucking trouble because he was doing some shit he wasn't supposed to be
Oh
doing.
yeah, no, I remember that. He was on a bike or something,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Okay, I remember that. Yeah. Damn, that
so,
felt like it's not that. Like I can kind of remember where I was when that.
Yeah,
time is
115. So that
flying.
was a while ago. Episode 116 was a combination takeover Survivor Series roundtable. That was back when they were doing the takeovers the day before the pay-per-view, so it was the whole weekend. We were able to combine the two. We did a Thanksgiving episode, The Grinch Who Stole Thanksgiving. Another lightning round here. My first Xmas as fuck extravaganza show, the YouTube live show, where I was at WeWork. When WeWork was a thing, they had a whole WeWork office building. That was once again Pombo's hookup. Murder is Bad. Joe hooked it up again. Go home show for the decade. That was when oh boy, this was going into the end. Now we're getting to the pandemic years. This is, folks, I'm not gonna lie, this is when shit really started going off the rails for me because now I was home a lot. So there's a lot of, I realized when I was editing for the YouTube channel that I had a lot of I have a lot of audio for my episodes. I don't have a lot of video for my episodes. So for YouTube, I just used an old cheap tactic. I just made like a photo based video just so it could be a video on YouTube. But I said to myself, for the roundtables or for whenever I did record, I'll just leave that video as the episode, right? I won't have to edit that around. It's already a video. It's perfectly the way that it is. But then I realized something. I started going through my videos and I realized I know I went live more times than this. I felt like I was missing videos. It's like I know that I've gone live more than that. So I checked my YouTube live section, not a whole lot there. Checked my Twitch, and Twitch doesn't really save those videos. Then I went to my Facebook page, the Orsini's official Facebook page. It has kept every single video that I've gone live with. I have a ton, and I didn't even realize it because I didn't even save it. I ended the video and I went about my business. I didn't realize Facebook kept copies. So I got a bunch of videos where I went live during the pandemic. Some of those videos I went live for literally no reason. I just went live. I was just home and I just said, I'm just gonna go live. And there was an episode here, was it 129? IHOP Conversations with Mrs. O. I just recorded me and Steph eating at IHOP. And we talked while we were at IHOP. That's basically it. And then I had a couple of the guys who were bored. Stephen James came on. It was Stephen James versus the coronavirus because he came on the show while he had corona, but he wasn't in my house. This is when the technology game stepped up. And we were starting to broadcast.
Why does that sound so weird? Is that what it was called?
Yeah, the coronavirus. Yeah,
I'm just so used to hearing it called COVID. Like when you said corona, I'm like, I forgot it sounded like the beer. I know the beer got a little weird around that time.
Yeah, it did. It did.
Yeah, it's so weird to hear corona.
Yeah,
I'm so used to hearing COVID.
Coronavirus. Get the vid. That's not Kevin Hart. He's got the vid, son. The top 10 favorite factions in pro wrestling with Chris Cage. That's episode 132. Interview with TJ Marconi. I got angry as fuck again, but this time it was WrestleMania. I don't know why. Still fucking quarantined. Episode 136. It was starting to get to me, folks. Look at episode 38, surprise live discussion. I didn't even know I was going to go live. I turned on the camera to do a show, and I just went live. Said, fuck it. 137, I skipped over this interview with Brian Idol. That's NWA superstar Brian Idol. Did a Mother's Day special. So this one's very special to me too. Episode 139. It's a very special Mother's Day where the first hour of the show I was talking to Mom. And then the second half of the show I'm talking to Steph. So it's like mom and mom kind of situation. So that's a pretty cool one. This was this was before the symptoms started, we'll say that. This is when she was just regular annoying mom talking to me about my wrestling stuff. So 140 mental health check by AJ. It was getting bad, folks. I'm telling you. Orsini's pro wrestling classroom session. I was on my soapbox. I don't know. This was the bad time.
Bro, you know what? I ain't gonna hold you. I want to go on a rant one day about COVID because I keep hearing people's story and I'm still bitter about that.
About COVID?
Yeah.
I mean,
because everybody was stuck in the fucking house but me. I worked every single day, no change. Nothing changed for me. So it's always so weird when people say, oh, COVID was crazy or we were stuck in the house. I'm like, I worked. It did not. 2019 to about 23 was no different. No day change. The only difference was I got to work mad fast. Like that was the only difference.
Less traffic.
I got to work mad fast, and you would think that my job would have been more empty, but because I worked at Lowe's at the time, that was one of the few places you could go outside. So everybody is like doesn't want to be inside. So mad people rush to Lowe's. So I'm out there with nobody to work with because they're not hiring anybody because they're trying to keep the staff lower because they're anticipating less people because of COVID, and we're just smashed. Like there's people at 6 foot my ass, bro. Everyone was more than 6 inches next to everybody. It was fucking crazy. That was my rant. We don't need an episode for it, but damn, it's so fucking annoying that like everyone has this, like everyone that I know has this. Oh, I was so bored. I wish I was locked in the house for days, man. I had to give myself COVID to get it. When she had it the first time, I ain't never fucked more in my life. Did a lot of fucking during COVID.
He was trying to get COVID.
I popped negative on 2 tests. It wasn't until the third one that I actually got it.
Jesus Christ. And you know what's funny is that a lot of companies were taking the COVID test picture for fact. And that was a bad idea.
That was a big one until they started.
That was a bad idea. There were so many people that I know that were like texting each other their positive results. So they could be like, oh man, I don't know.
Especially those places that were paying you to be off, like it had nothing to do with your vacation time. They had, like for instance, IKEA I know had a bucket specifically for it. You couldn't use it, but if you got COVID, it was a bucket of hours that they would like, vacation, PT, like whatever, however companies do it. They had one for COVID specifically. So if you popped a positive test, you didn't have to use any of your time. They gave you 2 weeks of time. Well, that's the second time. No, that was when I gave myself COVID. Like when we were pregnant with the baby, she got COVID, and I was like,
never pregnant.
I said when she was pregnant.
I thought you said we.
Or me too, nigga. Fuck.
I suffered too.
I want credit. We're never gonna see eye on that one, so let's keep walking. Anyway, so when she was pregnant, she got COVID, and I didn't want to. And that was a smart decision because she couldn't take anything. So that was a brutal. Like me not being there, that would have been hell. So I'm glad things worked out the way they did. But yeah, fuck all you people who got to stay home and do nothing. I wish I could stay home and do nothing. Fuck all you
people who got to stay home.
Yeah, you know how many relic weapons I'd have in 11 right now if I got to just stay home for 6 months? I know.
Jeez. I never think about that angle. That's a different angle.
Nah, I had to go work
Well,
and
this is
reset shelves.
well,
Those
then
are
you would have
bitter as
enjoyed.
fuck.
You would have
Fuck
enjoyed
that.
episode. You would have enjoyed episode 146. It was called
Oh,
"Covidiots in the."
and another thing. And then when I was working at Lowe's, towards the end of COVID, this one kid got a job there, and he was telling me how he's been on for like the past 2 years. And I was, expressing the same shit that I'm saying right now. This dude looked me dead in
Right?
my face and was like, "That's your fault. You should have took the payout." I'm like, "Oh, they look at you bad. I'm a manager. I can't do that. I won't get a manager job." And he was like, "Well, strap up." What do you say? Pull yourself up by your bootstrap. Man, I ain't never wanted to fight somebody more in my whole life. My man, he looked healthy. His skin was glowing. My man had a 2-year vacation.
Man.
He was eating good. He had a little weight put on him. Like, I was mad, bro. I'm out there.
Yeah, you know how many people? You know how many people actually lost weight during COVID because they had the time to sit down and fucking bust it out. Just go crazy.
I was like, "Dude, aren't you afraid? Like a 2-year gap, you're not gonna be able to get a job?" He was like, "No, don't hire me." I was like,
during COVID, I don't think I was ever healthier in my life than during COVID. Dude. I was never sick. I was never sick. I never left the house. I didn't have to interact.
We gotta have a COVID look back episode. That'd be pretty fun.
That would
just having a quick conversation about
that would be
just some of those things, like some of the memes where the Spanish family, the one girl walked up the ramp with like mad bags of groceries and she put them down, and then they had someone else come out with gloves and transform into another bag and then bring that bag inside, and then another person, like the grandma, came out with like a bucket and a scrub, and she was like scrubbing the girl down before she came into the house.
All those pictures of people who wore those weird contraptions over their head to go into the supermarket. They had like underwear upside down and like tampon, like not tampon, like fucking maxi pads and shit.
It was getting out of control with the splash guards. When people started walking around with the splash guards,
I had splash guards. I had them. I had splash guards.
Control. Meanwhile, I'm fighting these people like, bro, I'm telling you, I'm not gonna catch COVID. Like, can I take this mask off? Like, can I sign a waiver that I'm good if I catch COVID? The mask was killing me more than anything because I wear glasses. So every time I would breathe, this shit would fog up. Like, I can't see nothing. Bro, it was hell. The mask was the stupidest thing. Meanwhile, I'm working. All right, let's move on because I'll go off on COVID. God,
but that's not a terrible idea. That's not a terrible idea. We should do a COVID retrospective. I need to do my homework on that.
We should.
Because I'd love to bring all that shit back. That shit would be hilarious.
I mean, that was a milestone for all the young kids where I forget what they call them. But the ski mask that just show the eyes but cover the face. You know what I'm talking about? It pulls over your head. It's got that little window like this. Yeah. That's where that came. Like, people were using them before, but now it's like there was an excuse to wear it.
People were judging. I was gonna say people were judging people who used it. What are you up to? Why are you hiding your identity for? And now it's all anybody was doing. Everybody was covered up.
If anything, they were welcoming it because they just assumed it was covering it. COVID got nutty, man.
My wife was duct taping my pants to my shoe, so shit wouldn't go up my pants leg.
That's crazy.
Oh yeah, she was suited. I was getting suited up to go to the supermarket. I was getting suited up.
I'll tell you what, I am lucky.
That's how the external happened. The external fridge in my house, COVID, because she didn't want to have to keep going back and forth to the store.
Are you talking about the freezer?
The freezer that's next to us outside my kitchen.
Yeah.
That's how that purchase happened, because we didn't want to keep having to go back and forth to the store. We were buying a month, 2 months worth of shit right off every rip.
We're going too deep. We gotta talk about this another time. But yeah, we could definitely feel at least have an episode of this shit, man.
Yeah,
I want
definitely.
To talk about at least 4 more things right now. But let's move on. Let's move on.
You should write some notes so I know where to steal. But yeah. So we're skipping ahead a little bit. well, skipping ahead a little bit, episode 157, interview with Eric Jaden. That was close to my heart. Good friend of mine who had to leave the industry due to a cancer diagnosis. So we talked a little bit about that on the show. That was pretty good. Followed it up very quickly with my live experiment and the interview with Mike Donovan. And then, of course, a 3-year anniversary show where we have a new co-host, and that's Deceived Dave coming in. Actually, I wrote that in the thing. I said, I am humbled by the success of the show, and I thank you all. On this episode, I introduce my new co-host to the show, my brother Dave. We talk about this is what we talked about. Yeah.
Go. Talked about what?
I was just saying that this is what you talked about on the first episode you were on the show. We talked about the first round of the Ring of Honor Pure Championship Tournament, what went down for the NXT TakeOver 31 show. We celebrate Chris Jericho's 30 years in the wrestling business by discussing my favorite top 10 Chris Jericho matches. And we talk
like
all
his
that
set or something like that too. Remember
when
he was talking about his moves and stuff?
So Judas,
Armbar.
yeah.
What was that?
Yeah. The man of 1,004 holds.
Yeah.
Armbar. We talk all that and take fan questions as well. Jam-packed 3-year anniversary show. What were you gonna say?
No, I'm just saying that like it just also reminds me of the COVID conversation because I remember exactly that moment where I think it was like the day before or something, like randomly you had made a post of like being open to the idea of a co-host.
Yes.
And I told my wife, and I'm like,
which got a lot of responses.
And I was like, that might actually be kind of fun. And she was like, well, why don't you do it? I'm like, I'll think about it. And then I was the next day I was at work. Again, it's COVID. So this was around the Christmas time, I believe. Close to.
It was October.
October. Yeah, I know because I was building. I distinctively remember building the racks for the Christmas trees that were coming. And yeah. I'm sat there and it's nighttime. I think it's probably like 7-ish, something like that. And I'm like, nah, fuck it. I'll do it. I texted you and like not even 10 minutes later, for real? I was like, yeah, fuck it, let's do it.
Because when I made,
that post, I was like, oh shit. Yeah. I know interview or not like
You've been interviewing your whole life for that chap.
I remember that moment. Damn, that was crazy.
When I made that post, I had a ton of people come at me and they were like, "Oh man, yeah, that'd be really good, really fun." Maddie was one of them.
I don't even think you said it of like, "Hey, I'm looking for a co-host." You were more like, "I think I'm open to the idea," or some shit like that.
Yeah.
And then I was like,
something like that. Yeah.
See what he does. I'll put my name in the hat.
There were so many people who were just like, "Yeah, we should do it." And I was like, "Yeah, I'll think about it." The last person I had in mind was going to be you, because I just didn't think you'd be comfortable doing it.
Yeah.
And then,
to be fair, the first time we did it, I was actually quite uncomfortable. And what's funny is that now that I think about it more, because I know to be honest, if I'm being for real, when I was coming up that day, you told me you wanted to do the episode. I made no mention of it and almost made it the whole visit without you bringing it up. And then Stephanie brought it up. And you were like, oh, yeah, let's do it. And I'm like, fuck, I almost made it this whole trip without having I didn't really want to do it because I've never done whatever. And then I remember talking to her about it. She's like, oh, have you ever done anything like that before? I was like, I'm pretty sure I did it once, like a long ass time ago. And it was pretty fun when I actually did it. So it's funny that I think about it now. In that moment, I had remembered the last time that I did it, which was the first episode that you're talking about when I was in your house. So
yeah,
that's fucking crazy.
Yeah, I had a bunch of people asking. I was considering names, and then you hit me up, and you were like, "Yeah, I'm down." And I'm like, "What?" So I just scrapped everybody else. That was it. He's like, "Oh no, he wins."
Like, no, I'm thinking about it. Let's try. Fuck it.
Yeah,
let's go.
And he hasn't stopped yet.
I'm sure it'll be all right.
And
well,
then
now that you're reading episodes, there is a gap there. We had a gap.
Yeah, we had a gap. We'll get to the gap in a second. But the very next episode after your debut was 161, Staten Island Vacations. And that was when you told us the story about your vacation to Staten Island, the wonderful Staten Island vacation. That's when I kept trolling the George Michael song. Oh, I just realized we're gonna have to edit that now. When I start to upload that, look at it hit me. Nope, you got the wham on there. You can't do that. God damn it. Fast forward, you got the OUM Hollywood Halloween special. That's when you wear your cute little hat. Your little hatty hat.
The what?
Oh, he doesn't remember the hat. You don't remember the hat, bro?
Wait, what special was it?
It was the Halloween special, 163.
Yeah, I know.
It was a Halloween.
I remember it, and not only do I remember it, but I'm supposed to have it, and my child removed it. It was right here.
Your child removed it. There you go.
Yeah.
We did a couple of NXT stuff here. AJ and Dave discuss everything video games, 165. 2020 Survivor Series roundtable. Ooh, episode 168, The Wrath of Brother Dave. You were pissed about something. I forgot what it was. Did I write it in the description? Maybe it was
Something.
Man, something pissed you off on that. I didn't write it in the description. That was poor choice by me. Then we get another Christmas is fuck. We did a Hollywood holiday return with Wrestle Kingdom 15.
That's when we wore sweaters, right?
Yeah, we wore some sweaters.
I might still have that. I think I threw it away, but I might still have that sweater.
173, me and you sat down and reviewed our top 10 favorite MCU films. We did a top 10 for that one.
We had a guess for that.
Did we? Let me see.
I'm almost certain we had a guess for that.
I'm pretty sure we had guests when discussing the MCU. I think this particular one was just me and you.
Oh, okay. I know we had a guess once for the MCU thing because what was it? It was it was one of the movies that was it Galaxy
Guardians of the Galaxy?
I'm sorry, saying that backwards. I'm dyslexic. Yeah, it was one of those movies where, or no, it may have actually no. It was Thor. It was one of the Thor movies that I had put above something else or high up, and the other, I distinctively remember you and the other person like, really, like kind of like.
I gotta hear it back now because I don't remember another.
I remember. I could be wrong. I just remember someone else being there.
Okay, I'll go back
it's
and
not
listen
that
to
important. It's just something that I thought.
Another couple of round tables here. We did a Valentine's Day special back in the day, 177. We did I forgot about this. And we flew in the dash. No, it wasn't live. It was just a conversation about Valentine's Day, but it was also during that time period. Remember the month? It was Black History Month. We were doing African American history in pro wrestling.
Oh yeah, that was good. Well, I remember that one distinctively was fun.
I'm gonna clip those out too. Those were fun.
I had all the aspirations of doing one for every culture. I think I remember saying, "Oh, we should do more of these for all different types of months."
We did. We did International Women's Month after that.
Yeah,
we were doing all the women after that. Yeah. So we did some
for a minute.
Cool stuff. Yeah. Fast forward again, WrestleMania Roundtable, video game movie nostalgia. That was when we were talking about the old movies from back in the day. Commentary for dummies. That's me on my soapbox again. Prosperous endeavors of the future. Ooh, I was getting wordy with that one. AJ and Dave talk about the recent releases from WWE and what the future may hold. You know, I was just thinking because we just did releases like the other fucking day, and I'm like, should I be talking about releases? How often are people really going to get? I'm reading back all the descriptions. We did it every fucking time. Every fucking time they did a release, we ended up talking about it.
I don't think we ever really sat on it that long, though. Like, I don't think it was a massive segment anytime we actually did it.
No. Episode 194. A woman scorned, a pay-per-view booked. That sounds like a book series. I don't know what the fuck that was. 197. AJ and Dave present Rants
Wait,
R Us.
A woman scored a pay-per-view booked. Wasn't that the one with? That was the pay-per-view. Not what is it? Was it TNA? It was. Fuck. Because I remember that.
It was an all women's NWA pay-per-view.
Is that what it was? And who was the main person?
Mickey James was there.
Yes, thank you. Mickey James. It was, yes, I remember that. Okay. That was going to bother me because I remember us talking about that. Okay.
Yeah, and then we talked about Black Widow taking on Disney. Episode 198, 199, Pocket Pussies. I'm gonna have to go ahead and edit that title when we get to we get to the YouTube. I'm gonna read this one. Sometimes this show heads into weird directions. AJ and Dave steered this episode into a weird direction. A simple Amazon search turned the episode upside down, and it was hilarious. After the weirdness, however, we do discuss pro wrestling. I promise you what's in there, but man, you got to hear the episode to believe what happened. That was the episode where I also clipped out the part where we found the premium vagina tightening gel on Amazon. you remember that one?
Yeah, I remember that. I feel like we had a couple Amazon searches that got a little nutty.
Yeah, that's why when you went to war, they've given us so much, and here you are going to war with them.
No, I've given them so much.
It was a scene. I was seeing this promo. You take it, you take it, you take it. None of you sons of bitches ask me how I feel.
Yep, exactly.
200th episode. That was there. The return of Mrs. O. We have new lapels now. So now all Steph ever wants to do now is record, because all she has to do is just clip something and not even worry about it. She just talks. So she's all for that. We did some SummerSlam stuff. Oh,
it's always so weird what discourages her to do things. It's never what you think it is, right? Like you would think, oh, maybe she doesn't want to talk on the mic. No, it's probably because she doesn't want to have a fucking headset on her head. It has nothing to do with the act of doing it. It's just something in the process makes her uncomfortable, and then she's just like, I'm gonna do it. You would think it was maybe embarrassed, but no. She's just uncomfortable. That's it.
The headset gives her a sense like the show is real, because she could hear the show, and it makes her nervous. She has to, for her to do something like what we do, she has to be completely unaware that it's being recorded. She has to just, you have to trick her into thinking it's just a normal, regular conversation.
I can't hear myself in these because I don't have a professional setup, which I'm working on. I'm building a cart. All right, relax. But when I went to your house and did, well, when I originally got the microphone that is dying on me that I've been using, it has a plug-in for the headset and everything when I was trying to record stuff. So that was the first time I ever realized that the people that do this stuff can hear themselves. I never knew that. Ever.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, how the fuck do you talk hearing yourself talk? But to be honest with you, once you get used to it, it's hard to go back the other way.
I can't do it without it.
It's so weird to get used to it, but the moment it's not there after you've done it for like a month or two, it's like, dude, I can't. You think you're talking too loud, like it's so weird not having it. So when I went to your house, I think the last time recording in the same place, you have it where you can hear yourself in the. Oh, dude, it was so good. I gotta fucking fix my setup.
I'm telling you. Episode 206, The Tale of Godzilla versus King Kong. That was a fun time.
Fucking hilarious. I don't even think I said shit for like an hour and a half. That was fucking hilarious. Unnecessarily.
Haven't seen the new one. I got to see the new one so that I can talk about it on the fucking show. The 4-year anniversary episode. We did a Kahoot on that one, which is hilarious. OUM takes on cancer culture. An era of honor ends. That's when Ring of Honor
culture. Fuck,
yeah,
dude.
Yeah. And then to episode 212, AJ's top 10 commentary matches. That's my top 10 favorite matches that I called, which is hilarious. Which is hilarious because of the 10 matches, because I have the list in front of me, 3 of those matches are on YouTube. That means 7 of my favorite matches that I called myself are not on my YouTube, but I have them. I have those matches. So I was well, that's the thing. Upon retrospect, looking at the matches, I realized that the reason why they were never on my YouTube channel is because the promoters who own those companies had asked me not to post them, and then I just forgot about it because these are old matches. So I recently, when I was rebranding the YouTube, I started hitting them up, and I'm like, listen, you're not using this footage. So I'm gonna start posting them now. So I mean, look at this shit. Davey Richards and Josh Alexander, Amazing Red versus Brian Excel, EYFBO Private Party, AJ Styles versus Ricochet. Like, my voice is on these matches. I'd like to have them on my fucking YouTube channel so people can hear me calling matches with the stars. Because people really do believe that I just come out here and talk shit like I don't have the experience that I'm talking about. I've worked with the best, boys and girls. It's about high time y'all fucking listen to it and watch it. I was redoing the YouTube channel. Almost all my interviews are already up. They were already up, but they were mistitled, misused. Ever since the rebrand, everything's been kicking up. I'm on my YouTube channel right now.
Dude.
Right now on my YouTube channel, and I have just told you I haven't uploaded everything that I have, but on my YouTube channel right now, you got me and Ricochet, AJ Styles, the Young Bucks, the fucking Colony, fucking Homicide, Mikey Whipwreck. I mean, it's a who's who on my fucking YouTube channel because I've worked with everybody, and there's a bunch of people that I haven't had a chance to upload. Me and Sammy Callahan, me and Kevin Steen, I mean, just people. Don't mean name drop, but this is who I've been working with for years. That's what I'm saying. No one's paying attention. We did a year in review, 2021. That was fun. Episode 218, Antonio Brown and the dislocated elbow episode. I don't know what the fuck we were talking about on that episode.
Brown and
that was when Antonio Brown walked off the field. Remember, he went all fucking crazy. He took his jersey off and started bugging out, and he just left. He just left the fucking field.
These things don't. So how long ago was this? 20, like 20, 22?
No, this is episode 218. So this must have been like around that time. Yeah,
22. Damn,
yeah,
shit don't feel that long ago, man.
A Winter Rumble story. I don't know what we did there. A Super Sunday conversation. That was Super Bowls, obviously. 222. Chambers, Departures and Dreams. Oof, I am a fucking poet. Listen to all this. The end of the Triple H era. 225. We broke that down. The tale of the longest WrestleMania in history.
Damn, in hindsight.
I found this, and I feel like we should have did more of these, and we only did it the one fucking time. Briscoes versus FTR watch along. We don't do nearly enough of these. The fucking watch.
How did we do that? Did we just what episode is that?
That's episode 228. And if I'm not mistaken, I shared my screen and we watched it together with the audio off. If I'm not mistaken, I believe that's what we.
Because I want to see what that structure looked like.
But it wasn't visual; it was all audio.
No, I understand that, but I want to hear like how we did that, like, because that does sound interesting. There's been a bunch of shit we could have did that too.
Yeah,
especially like it don't got I think that'd be a good opportunity to not do WWE shit. To do like
agreed.
Yeah, like we don't need to do that with WWE. I don't think there's a point to it.
Be honest with you, I don't even think we need to. I don't even think we need to limit it to just wrestling stuff. Like I'm just throwing that out there too. Like I think
I think that's an
area that we can explore. We can
it's
explore.
Something we can and I think that way. I don't know. It feels like WWE for the most part is a thing we're like current on. Does that make sense? I feel like this is a way to kind of like either do current stuff or even go like way back and like watch some of those fucking old school, or Dave sees your favorite fucking WrestleMania 5 match for the first time. You know what I mean? I know there are moments.
This is true because there's a lot of matches you haven't seen.
There's a lot of those times when we go live and we're talking about old shit, I'm quiet because I don't know that stuff. But I think it would be pretty cool to like maybe watch one of them and like just go over it or something. You know what I mean? I think that'd be cool. It's a good idea.
We need to explore it. See, this is why I like going through this. Episode 230, 20 years of Randy Orton, when he had hit the 20-year mark. Skip ahead to 232.
He's
232.
Crushing, man.
The World Video Game Hall of Fame discussion. That was when that started, 232. By the way, this year's finalists have been named, but they haven't decided who's going in just yet. So we'll holding pattern for that one. I've been keeping an eye on that. I even showed Steph where that place is. So we'd like to go, but that's a conversation for
Hall of Fame.
It's in Rochester. Yeah, that place that we've been talking about. But it's in Rochester. It's upstate. It's like from me, it's 5 hours the drive. So yeah. So
I don't know, but that may
it's
not
gonna.
be a cool little weekend hotel trip.
Yeah. I mentioned it to my wife's godmother, and she said, "Well, my son went to school in Rochester. We used to fly up." I was like, "To Rochester?" She's like,
Well,
"Yeah,
I'll
it's like an
drive.
hour and change or something." I was like, "Oh man,
I'm good. Boots
yeah,
on the ground. I'm good.
boots boots on the ground." Episode 234, the insane world of Cody Rhodes. What were we doing?
Oh my
Uh,
god.
236, we have all the
I'm
superstars.
still pissed he fucking called that, man. That makes me so fuck. I'm still mad about that shit.
That he was
I'm
going to
still so
WWE.
fucking. No, I'll never forget when I forget what episode it was, but we were talking about who's next. Like people are getting annoyed by Roman, but who's fucking next? And to be honest with
Yeah.
you, that aged even crazier because the Roman at that time was the beginning of the ramp. Because I remember you guys were saying,
Yeah.
nah, he's different. He's doing something different around that time. So this was like the
Right.
beginning of the ramp. And then we were talking about it. You're like, I don't know, man. I think Cody Rhodes. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. What do you mean? Get out of here. Here we go. Look at us
Still
now.
got. But
Hey, what the
this
fuck are you
particular
talking
episode,
about, huh? Fuck out of
this
here.
particular episode here, 234, this is the Hell in a Cell match we talked about, where he had the torn pec.
Mm-hmm. His titty was
So that was
broke.
the beginning. That torn pec was the beginning of the end of that title
That's
reign.
what pushed him over. He became a
That
fan
was
favorite because of that.
that is it. Episode 237. Could you make the decision that saves the world?
Marvel?
238. Marvel, Star Wars, wrestling, and gun control. Listen, I don't know what was happening there. There it
You're
is.
fitting a lot of different things.
Yeah, I did. And we're getting closer. Part of the journey is the end. This is where us getting closer to the end of the actual first rendition of the show. We did Phase 4 and Backstage Brawls, Mermaid Conversations, Orsini the Optimist. This was, and then of course episode 246, the 5th anniversary show. The description was "Thank you for everything, mic drop," because that's when the show had officially come into an end. And then we were back a year and change, about 15 months later, with episode 247, the continuation of a new beginning. That's still one of my favorite titles.
That's a
It's so
mind fuck.
wordy. That's a mind fuck. I love it. And then we came back with 248, Trolls, Tube Socks, and Tribalism. Man, we came out of the shoot hard, baby. The week the world exploded. That was when the what was that? They were talking about Netflix. Yeah, that was the big deal. The Netflix announcement. Royal Rumble 2024 Fallout. Then we did the Chamber. Thank you, Stinger. We were talking about the retirement of Sting. The Beware of Glass Scooch. Attack on the House of O. There was what was that? Everyone's sick again. The House of O is under attack, and everyone is under the weather. So many sick episodes. Rainy Day Conversations, Getting War Ready. We did the WrestleMania 40 round table, AJ and Dave's Wild WrestleMania Adventure. This was the first time that I did a WrestleMania Aftermath that not only included you on the show, but included you in real life because you were at the actual WrestleMania this time. Brought back the lightning round. We did a heel turn for Netflix. That was when I got bitchy because Netflix won't give me all my episodes. Give me all my episodes, you motherfucker. Give me all of them. 265. Safety is the key. We had our Father's Day celebration. The 2024 class of the Video Game Hall of Fame. Nepotism and horse crap. This is all the new stuff now we were doing. SummerSlam we just recently did. The California Experience. That was my trip to California. The budget to grow revenue pattern. That was a fun conversation when we were talking about that little pattern we discovered amongst those video game movies and the reason why they kept making them. That low overhead into the big budget expansions. That was pretty good. Caitlin Clark, Snow White, Mayor Adams, and Vince McMahon. You shared something very cool with me the other day where I didn't bring it on the show today, but it's Snow White has officially hit the theaters and it is on fire.
It is fucking dragged.
The only reason we're not talking about that shit today is because I wait to see what the devastation looks like. I'm gonna let it simmer.
I hesitated to send it to you because it was only weekend, and they're just killing him for the weekend numbers. I wanted to see what he did in his first week.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I agree.
But I
100%.
figure I send it to you anyway to put it on your radar.
Yeah, just something to keep
it
an
ain't
eye
looking
on.
good so far. So
no, it does not.
No.
This is
They'll
280.
comp. I think they'll comp.
No, we'll
I think
see.
they'll comp. So, but we'll see.
Episode 280, you weren't here. Me and Steph recorded it in the car. That's like I told you, we got the new lapels, so she was going off. She was talking a whole bunch. Crown Jewel and the icons of video game characters. The Survivor Series live show, the Veiny episode. That was the one with the we did the what the fuck segment with the guy who was pissed off that his Snickers didn't have veins in it. Remember?
Oh, he was eating that shit upside down. He likes to feel the thickness on his tongue. Yo, that dude was out of pocket. Yo, he was crazy. He's like, it doesn't change the flavor, but I love the texture of that black. I mean, the Snickers.
The Snickers.
It wasn't Snickers. What was it though? Was it Snickers? I don't think it was.
It was like a Mars bar. No, it wasn't Snickers specifically, but it was like a Mars bar or
like
something.
An almond bar
that had something like that. It was fucking weird.
It wasn't Snickers, but my man was great. Like he was dead ass about his veins. He needed that thick side, so when he flip it, he feels that shit every lump on his tongue. That's what he wanted.
Gulping down, just gulping down.
Yeah.
New York. Oh no, excuse me. High profile martyrism. This is when the Mets got Juan Soto, and you broke down Marvel Rivals and its comparisons to Overwatch. Karate and pro wrestling. That's the Karate Kid stuff, along with the verbal battle, the wrestling stuff leading up to Chelsea becoming new U.S. champion. Where we took a break from the Christmas time, catching up from the holidays. The Netflix era. The Netflix era has begun. Money Marcosaurus, the peanut butter conundrum. That was fun. That was the cereal tournament, which is hilarious because we did the cereal tournament. That was an idea, and I said to people that it was an idea that I had a while ago. I just never capitalized on it, and then I redid it to make it more up to date, and then we did it. I found my original idea in the old folders. I had a bracket already. And I was pissed when I found it because although the way that we did it was really cool because it was interactive. So when we clicked on a winner, it kind of signified right away.
Moved the bracket, yeah.
Right, it moved the bracket along. So I don't regret what we did, but damn it, when I tell you that this was actually a really cool, I'm going to share it with you now since people can actually see it now. But let me see if I could window here. So the way that here, I'll show it to you here. The way that it has it set up here.
Sugar, healthy, chocolatey, fruity. That's actually smart.
That's smart. And then we could have really hashed it out right there. And I was like, wow, this would have been really cool to do it that way. But as you can see,
I also think that bracket's I think this is unfair.
The bracket's unfair?
I think this is I like the idea. It's almost as if each one of these could be its own tournament. Because I don't know, man. I don't think there's a world where I could put some. I don't know. We'd have to run through this. I don't think there's a world where I can put any of the healthy over whatever it's gonna win in sugar, dude. I don't know.
It sounds like that.
We have to run that bracket though, because now I'm curious. The way I see it is. Fruity's gonna take an L. Healthy's gonna take an L. Well, hold on though.
Sugary and chocolatey is gonna be.
Hold on. Sugary Applejacks might be in fruity though. And I went and grabbed the box.
Applejacks is in the fruity bracket.
Fruity might take it all. So I went and got a box of Applejacks after that. That shit lasted all but 12
of the health. Hold on, let me share it again because I was just gonna read something off. Really quickly. Let me share it again. Present share screen. Oh, just really quickly. That healthy bracket: Cheerios, shredded wheat, Life cornflakes, Rice Krispies, Kicks, Special K, and Rice Chex. I don't know if any of them have the ability to win overall. I don't know. We'll get We'll get the best healthy cereal by the end of that bracket. I don't think it's beating anybody though.
No. Chocolate's
Is
strong.
that-
Though. I don't know. I'm biased with cereal. We might have to get. We might have to get someone else. We might have to. We might have to get some guests to run that bracket for us, bro. Because it might be Apple Jacks again, dog. I can't hold you. That shit tastes even better than it did back when I was a kid. That was good, dude. It lasted 12 hours. I had 2 bowls. I'm gonna tell you again. I ate the whole box in 2 bowls.
2 bowls. Those were sizable bowls. Sizable bowls.
The only way to eat cereal.
So we did the Royal Rumble live to Royal Rumble round tables. We did why did I call it that? I called them Black Excellence because we were talking about Kendrick Lamar in the Super Bowl. AJ shuts down the club. That was when I did my Bingo Loco deal. So here's the deal with that. By the way, all the other episodes are all literally the ones that we just did, so we're at the end of that. But quick Bingo Loco update. They sent me the information for the fucking Vegas trip, and as predicted, they completely put these tickets in the worst possible spots that you could possibly put it in. It's like midweek. They got you traveling overnight with a layover. To, like, they bought the absolute cheapest tickets they could possibly get. It's the one where when it's the flights where if you were looking for specific tickets, you would just fly right by these. No, I'm not leaving at this time. I'm not whatever. It was like middle of the week, not even like during a vacation time. Like, we have to work. We have to go to work that week. And it's just,
they do that shit on purpose so people can say they can't do it.
It's a discouraging thing. I know. She was a little bummed, but at the end of it, we just decided, we're not gonna do this. I realized just now that I haven't had this up the whole time. Damn, I'm dropping the ball over here. I could have had that going the whole goddamn time. Boo. So there are a lot of people who are so mad at me. Call out, bro. You gotta go to Vegas. No, I can still go to Vegas. See, that's the problem. That's the difference between me and you. I got Vegas money. You don't have Vegas money? Oh, okay. See, your ass would be on that flight at 11 p.m. at night, getting in at 6, 7 in the goddamn morning, all bug-eyed and jet lag, trying to let's go gamble. Nah, I'm gonna be rested, chilling, watching some sort of Marvel movie on the plane, on my way to my majestic vacation.
I'm not.
You know you do.
You got me.
Hell no.
That's a day wasted.
I'm not bougie. I was not raised in that environment where I have the opportunity to just say no to free shit.
I don't understand why they gotta make it that if they're gonna do that. Like, just make it something else. You weren't even there for that. It could have literally been a teddy bear and you would have been fine.
And here's the case.
And that's not what got you to do it. Were they promoting that?
No. They didn't promote. I didn't
fly with it.
We didn't hear about that until we came into the building, and that was like the first thing they told us.
I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and say that they were promoting it, because to me, otherwise, it makes no fucking sense why you're doing it. If you're gonna encourage me to not take it, like, can I just get free tickets for the next time? Like that?
Yeah,
that's just free admission. Like, I don't need to be pulled around, kicked around for a Vegas trip.
Well, here's the deal. Steph is going on a girls' night this Friday. It's going to be her and 7 other women. So it's going to be 8 women all together. And they're going to Bingo Loco. So for the other 7 women, this is their first time. My wife is coming in, the veteran. She knows how the game is played. So she's going to spill the secrets. So if we happen to win again, let's see if they can get their shit together. Here's the kicker, too.
She has a Kanye moment on stage and puts them on blast.
We won when we went to Bingo Loco in Philly. When they asked me for my information for the tickets, they asked me where I lived. I told them in the description that I lived in Brooklyn and that my wife lives in Brooklyn. Obviously, she lives with me. For whatever reason, they set the tickets up for us to leave and depart to Las Vegas from Philly. So I now, like, even if I decided to go, I'd have to drive to Philly, then get on a plane to go there. Then I'd have to come back to Philly and drive back to my house. This Bingo Loco trip they're going to now is in Manhattan. So I said, okay, cool. Should be no mix up this time. If you win, or if any of these other heifers happen to win something, then at least, it's a good thing. I can't wait for Friday. Because if you're a married man in this world, you know what girls' night means. Girls' night means boys' night at the house. Me and my son are already preparing for the most evil shit possible. Okay. Oh my! Listen, I'm like this close to giving him some. It's like, I'm trying to make this memorable. You know what I'm saying? But I already know. I already know my son. I have it in my head. My son's not going to be much of a drinker anyway, even when he gets older. Just for the simple fact of what alcohol does to the brain, I don't think he's going to be down with that. Why do I feel like that? I don't think so. I think if he gets around certain kids, yeah, like his friend group, like his social circle, if that becomes like a big thing, then yeah, sure. But I've met his friends. His friends are bitches too. So I don't know. I don't
know.
We'll see.
Social drinking is nice if you have a good group to do it with.
Yeah, there you go.
I've never been the type to kind of drink on my own. That's just boring.
I kind of have to.
He said I can't. I can't agree.
No. It's not that I don't agree. I actually do very much agree with you. It's much better in a social setting. Unfortunately, I'm not in social settings a lot.
That's why. But then I just don't drink.
Oh no. It's got to get in. We're going to make this work. I'm just saying.
Well, I got a handle of Tito's in there from when I was married, and I haven't took a sip out of it, and we're about to have our 3rd year anniversary.
Yeah. Listen, well, all the more reason, hey, when I come through the next time, we know what we're getting into now. See, there it goes. So we got to do that too. I keep telling Steph, I said, we got to find it in the schedule, man. We got to get down to Philly. We got to get down to your spot because I am dying to go back to that fucking supermarket that's by your crib, the one that has like the 8 different. Yeah, you go. That was the night that we had the.
All the time.
That was the one. Didn't I get Colts that night? The one before Mania.
It was before Mania. Yeah.
We
were fucking those things out. We not only did we finish all of ours, but we started drinking theirs because they weren't drinking it.
Yeah, we started drinking our wife's shit. My wife was like, "Where's my blue moon? Yeah, my brother." Well, half of it. I've been pissed out most of it. I got so fucked up.
That was awesome.
Oh my god, I was embarrassingly fucked up. Like I was starting to feel it.
No. Safe space.
It was incredible. Look, I'm gonna keep it real with you. We went a little long with the episode stuff, which is cool. That's the whole point of the show. That was more important to me than
I prefer it based on some of the stuff you got on here.
Well, I'm skipping Cain Velasquez. We'll talk about Cain Velasquez. We'll pick up that story next week. Let's get a little bit more into the WWE Hall of Fame stuff. They have made another announcement. So far, heading the class, Triple H is heading the class of this year's Hall of Fame. We have Michelle McCool going in. We have Lex Luger, the total package, going in. And now we have the natural disasters, earthquake, typhoon, former WWE Tag Team Champions going into the Hall of Fame. And I am digging it. I am loving it because every single time an old school tag team goes into the Hall of Fame, not named Demolition, I know Alexander Green is somewhere out there crying crocodile tears every single time they troll Paul Green. And I know this is inside for a lot of new listeners, but if you're an old school fan of this show, actually maybe not even that old school, he was on the show with us for the Father's Day special, so he's come on here recently. He is one of my best friends in the world. We were born on exactly the same day, February 25th, 1983. We are good friends, and I tease him all the time because he is a huge Demolition fan and cannot for the life of him understand why they have not put him on the Hall of Fame. And I keep explaining it to him over and over and over again. They bit the hand that fed them. They will never forget what Demolition did to the WWE and tried to put them out of business and tried to sue the life away from this goddamn company. That is petty on another level. If they do it one day, it'll be a business decision. They'll do it gritting their teeth over Vince's dead body. It'll happen. Vince will die in January, and they'll announce Demolition for the Hall of Fame in April. That's when it'll happen.
Well, when
but
was this announced? Should I check the obituaries?
the natural disasters, they are they a Hall of Fame tag team? That's what we usually have the conversation with anytime somebody goes into the Hall of Fame. You just said it yourself. A lot of the older stuff you're not too familiar with. I'm going to go ahead and go on the safe side and say that you don't have too many memories.
No, but these are some big motherfuckers. Were they actually 6'7"?
Yeah, they were big boys, and
God damn.
fluctuated between 300 and 400 pounds easily. Now,
I love
Earthquake
how
John
I'm watching it. I love how I'm watching the video you said. Man, I'm like, damn, these motherfuckers are stiff as a board. And then the next scene is like, and they're big and they were athletic. You see them just like lumbering. It's like, dude, relax, man. Like, I know you're trying to sell it. Relax, bro. They're not that athletic. They're moving.
I think
they're huge. They're big people, so I get it.
Right.
Like,
and remember, this was
this
was in an era long before the Bronson Reeds and the Braun Strowmans and the really athletic
which
big
is why
guys.
in their time, the moving like that with the leg drops and
was exceptional.
The belly. What was that? I think he did a belly to back, which was actually pretty clean. Yeah. I'm not trying to say they didn't move as big men, but I don't know, something about the word athletic. I was like, all right, bro, chill. Like, they're moving. But,
I don't know if athletic
for that time, it kind of is
maybe this word hits you different because I think it's a better word to describe it. Athletic, mobile, like they had some form of agility to them. They weren't just chop and kick big guys. They could.
That's one of my favorite things about Kane, though, is his agility for his size.
He was but Kane was actually athletic though.
Okay, but do you see where my brain's firing off?
Yeah,
you say athletic. I'm like,
when they said athletic, you thought,
chill. Bring it back. No, but they were good. I don't know how good their matches were, but the clips and stuff that I saw looked pretty. It's a spectacle for sure. Those guys are massive dudes.
I would go so far, and if you're a big man in the industry now who might be new to the business, if you want to learn how to truly work as a modern day big man, I would watch some of those matches because they not only were big guys, and we're saying now that they could move, they had some mobility to them, but they could sell. For big guys like that, they were able to sell. Like they didn't come off their feet a lot because of their size. That doesn't make a lot of sense. They shouldn't get knocked off their feet a lot. But when they did, they made it mean something, and they took the bumps for people they needed to take the bumps from. And that's why I said if you're a big man now, whenever you get a really big guy, always the old guys, hey, don't take too many bumps. Hey, don't do this. Hey, don't do that. And then you watch like an AEW where you see like a Brian Cage who wrestles like a cruiserweight. You know, he's flying over the top rope, he's bumping feet, and he's doing everything that a little guy would do, and he's a monster. He shouldn't be doing that. This is what we're talking about when we say a big, monstrous guy who's going to get their offense in, but at the same time, like, he knows that he needs to bump and sell at some point. He's got to come off his feet. They did it well. They were putting over guys that probably shouldn't have been putting over, but at that time period, it was all about really who was more over than the other guy. And they were over.
I like the fact that they were talking about how they were respectable in their own rights, but when they came together, it just created something special with the two of them. So that's really cool, especially for tag teams, man.
Yeah, one of the teams that always comes to mind when I hear that is the New Age Outlaws. Not in the sense of they were both excellent as individuals and then they got together and became a good team. I mean, in the sense of Road Dogg was a great talent and Billy was a great talent. Yeah. They had respectable careers before the team.
When they became a team, it was fucking magic, dude.
It got over like crazy. Natural disasters, same way, right? Earthquake has got that look. He's doing the stomp around the head. He goes off the ropes. He does that sit down. Blah. And then we got the Typhoon with the big tsunami splash. You take those individually and you have something. But when you mash them together,
They just
a perfect symphony of fucking destruction. It was awesome. I love both guys.
Today, not 5 years ago, maybe not even 10 years ago. Today, I think that works. Like two guys. I mean, I don't think you can find it like that, but like two guys. For an example, the guy who uses the tsunami now, I think.
Oh yeah, Bronson Reed. Yeah.
Yeah, he was on there. If you could find something like that, the counterpart for him, I think that goes over now. Again, not 5 or 10 ago, but right now today. If anything, I think they could really use it considering what they're trying to push. That'd be pretty cool. I mean, I don't know if it's Braun Strowman and him since they were fighting each other, but then maybe they missed the mark on that one. That could have been. That actually probably could have been really good for them teaming. Who knows?
I think WWE has somewhat started going in reverse. Like it's modern time with a modern. It's a modern look, right? When you see these new fancy buildings at the entranceway with the drone shots, they're shooting it modern, but the actual storylines, the actual performances now. If you think about it, really, they've gotten back to being more of an old school product, right?
I believe it.
Not
I think
everybody's,
that's why it's
not
getting good.
everybody's. That's why I think it's getting good. They're going back
Yeah.
to more of the basics. So something like that, a team like that these days, oh my god, it
They're
would've been
getting into.
tremendous.
I don't mean to make the reference. I really don't like bringing it up anymore. But they are getting into their not so much attitude era as in the era, but the way they kind of like did stories a little bit. Not as aggressive, but the storytelling is just. It's more of like the individual rather than it feels like they're being fed scripts. Like some of these wrestlers are really kind of acting their ass off, which is starting to get. They're starting to progress in that manner. Which is why when you get teams like what's the tag team that came Machine Guns, they look so weird.
Yeah.
Because it's not. I'm not saying that they're bad. They just kind of look
Right.
out of place. Let them cook. They just got here. It's a new thing. They're getting better. I've seen one recently where they met another tag team in the hallway, and it was a lot better. So let them develop here. But that's why they stand out like sore thumbs, because it's just like they're not at that level as far as like the performance goes, like acting wise.
Yeah, well, I said it when they debuted. It's hard to come across as a unique, one of a kind tag team when everybody who got into the WWE before you stole all of your shit. You're not doing anything that stands out and is different because all the other tag teams have already started doing it. So
Sure, but nothing is ever better than the original. So I think that if they can
these
just
fans
get,
don't know they're the original. The original to
That's
them are the teams that do
okay,
it.
but I mean, sure, but when you see the original at its peak, you'll know. And I just think the problem with them right now is just I can feel how uncomfortable they are. Like how like their movements where they talk is very unnatural. So I don't know. Just give them more time. I think they'll be perfectly fine. But we are at the ground level of this tag team division, and it is obvious that they are trying because we're getting a lot
need
more
more
tag team segments. Huh?
Yeah, we need more tag teams. We're getting more
Yes,
segments, but we need more
but
tag teams.
we are ground level right now, dude. We are like this
Yeah.
is a brand new construction here. So although I feel very uncomfortable when it's on the screen, I feel like I know what they're trying to do, and you just gotta let these guys cook. So hey, they maybe need to go back and watch some of the videos of these guys and do some history and start learning how to work the ring a little bit. I think you're right. Too many people are trying to do too much of the same shit, and it looks weird. And there are some people just kind of need to develop their own identity. So we'll get there though. They've been impressing me with a lot of different stuff. So
Yeah. So big ups to the natural disasters getting into the WWE Hall of Fame. Big ups to them. Congrats to the families that is going to attend. In the announcement, they had a lot of their personal family members there. So it should be a very fun night. So our main event is, of course, a farewell, not a negative one like it was last week when my good friend of mine passed away by the name of Vince Steele. This is not a death situation. This is just retirement. This is the end of a conversation here. I have the opportunity to, since we're doing video, allow me to, I got to open it first, apparently. Jesus Christ. Here we go. So, yeah, I have it open now. Okay, so before I block your screen, that's fine. Homicide, the Notorious 187, the former Ring of Honor World's Champion, the former TNA X Division Champion, a mentor. I mean, that's the word that keeps being spread around, a mentor. He did so much for me. He did so much for so many people in the New York City area. And I know that we like to take him for granted and like he's our guy, but Homicide's nationwide now. Homicide's worldwide. His influence has been felt all around the world. He posted this. Let me go ahead and share this screen. Where are we at here? There we go. This was something that he shared on his Facebook. Can't believe I saying goodbye. Not only a job, the passion, the sport of pro wrestling. Myself and Bull James versus Mike Santana and I Hate Everyone, Alpha Jr. Inside joke. Reason I'm leaving because I went to my doctor and found a cyst on my brain. Had it for months and it's getting worse. My vision and my speech is bad because the hard hitting, getting knocked out, and hitting a plane to travel. March 20th was just passed a couple days ago. Outlaw wrestling means a lot. I want people to party and smile, except for Alpha Jr. I'm a survivor. I always win BS battles. Bottom of my heart. Thank you for your support. This is not a goodbye. This is see you later. Hashtag Latin Terror, hashtag Homicide, hashtag 27 Sweatbox 1. A lot of people have gotten a chance to speak with him. He's in good spirits, but as an individual, as myself, who's spoken to him many, many times over the course of over a decade, you can hear it. And
you can see it in his typing a little bit.
Yeah, no. I tried to clean that up a little bit. You can actually hear it in his verbiage too when he's talking to you. He's you can kind of see it, and it just sucks that's. I always knew that the retiring was coming soon. We always had that conversation. I think he's currently what was that picture? He said what 32 years. We went to his 25th anniversary. They did 25 years of Homicide. They had a whole tribute show for him. He was the main event, and I was invited to that. I went to that. It was a great show. It was a good time. Got a chance to be back. I wasn't booked on the show or anything, but I got invited to come out, and I did. And I got a chance to be in the back, which was also very cool because I got invited to the show, but as a show of support, I still bought a ticket. So I was amongst the crowd. And throughout the course of the show, wrestlers, they're coming in and out, got to use the bathroom, got to get a bite to eat, whatever the fucking case, sell some gimmicks. And I want to say it was Danny DeMonto. I can't remember specifically who it was. They bumped into me. We started talking, and they were like, "Have you been in the back yet?" I was like, "No, I haven't gone in the back. I bought a ticket to get in here. I'm not going in the back." And they were like, "Bro, there's beers back here. We have to go in the back." I was like, "Well, if there's beers back there, sure."
You convinced me. Well, I was humble. You pushed me, so yeah.
I was trying to do the right thing, bro. But okay, whatever it is, I go in the back. First person that sees me is Homicide. Daps me up, gives me a hug. Thanks for coming. Blah blah blah. He's the one who got me the beer. He's like, "All right, hey." I was like, "Oh, if you're gonna twist my arm, all right, glug." And the whole locker room is filled with people that I know that I've worked with for years. I understand why they brought me in. I'm a part of the team. I get it, or at least I have been over the years. So it was just a fun time. It was nice. It was cool. I thought after talking to him that night that the retirement was like right there. Not at that show particularly, but now we're at 25 years. It's right around the corner. I can't keep doing this shit forever. But then he got the NWA gig where he was coaching there and he was helping out talent there, develop talent, I should say. Then he had the AEW shots where he was showing up for AEW television, a couple of Ring of Honor deals. He was still making waves as a wrestler. It's hard to walk away when you're still and the way he's respected. he walks into any locker room in America, and he's one of the most respected guys in that room, regardless. And so that it was hard to hear that it was a health reason that he's leaving, but at the same time, like he seems to be in good spirits. He seems to be, frown. He's always been like a frown upside down kind of guy. I made a post myself. I won't share it. You guys can see it on my social media. And I even said in the post, I was like, as far as the health thing goes, I know you and I know you don't put over bullshit like that. He's not going to do the job to assist. It's not going to happen. He's not going to put the fucker over. No way. He's going to refuse to do it. But,
I'm
I
surprised he
wish him the
hasn't taken
best.
it out with a fork yet.
The word is like, where? Show me where the fucker's at. Which way is it? So it sucks that that's the way that it's ending, but at the same time, I'm glad to hear that he's doing so well mentally, that it hasn't crushed him or crashed him. I didn't get a chance to see the match for there was stuff going up the house, so I didn't get a chance to go to this show. So I regret that. I probably should have gone. It was Homicide's final show. It was a sold out venue, a good turnout. So happy for him. As far as the man himself, right? So we've heard that phrase 1,000 times. He's so respected, and everyone loves him so much. One of the biggest reasons for that is because for years there wasn't really a lot of training facilities in New York. When we lived in Jersey in the late 90s, that's when I really wanted to start my career in wrestling. I wanted to go to a wrestling school, and there weren't many. And the only one closest to New York that was Johnny Rod's school. And I got a chance to speak to him on the phone. I even went down to Johnny Rod's school in New York, and he was a really cool dude. No disrespect, but you know how I looked when I was like 16 years old, skinny, not very tall. He looked right at me, and just this is not gonna work. What are you what are you doing? This is the late 90s before any jack off. You can be 5'2", 110 pounds and be a world champion somewhere now. But in those days, they actually
In
gave a
their
fuck about how you
defense,
looked.
wrestling at that time was looked at especially with Vince, just like athletes, where they wanted the
Yeah, yes,
biggest, tallest. If you're not over a certain amount, you can't do this. So that type of
yes,
shit. So I mean, I
yes.
guess it makes
Right.
sense. He's a victim of the time. So yeah.
In 1998 and 1999, I was extremely bitter about the situation. But now in 2025, yes, I get it. So,
Yeah.
uh, they,
I'm no Hulk
I,
Hogan. Right.
yeah, I get it. Not a body guy. All right. So I didn't know though, because the only thing that I was pitched. I mean, what did we have? Lycos at the time, SGs. Where are we finding these wrestling schools? It's not like now where you can just open one up all willy nilly. They didn't have many. I didn't know at the time that down in Brooklyn there was a school called the Doghouse. Uh, one of the head trainers there was Homicide. He was one of the head trainers there, and he trained a whole generation of guys that we ended up seeing just bust all kinds of ass throughout the industry. He was the head trainer there. That's where his legacy sort of started, because it wasn't just a guy who was nasty at it himself. He was helping other New Yorkers get nasty at it. He was kind of breeding a new underground kind of swell of talent that we all know today as the legends of New York. And I have had my opportunities to train and to work underneath all of them. Um, but that's where his legacy started. When I went north from Jersey, and Johnny Rodz basically told me absolutely not. The other option that they had given me was, why don't you go the other way? Instead of New York, why don't you train in Philly? Because they have the CZW Academy. And that was, even though Philly was closer to where we were, it was still kind of deep for me at the time. So I was like, I'm not going to go all the way to Philly. Fuck it. So I just waited it out. I ended up training much later. But that's how far Homicide's kind of run starts. It's all the way back then. And then in about 2002, brand new professional wrestling company starts up in New Jersey called Ring of Honor. And the whole idea behind Ring of Honor is that we're going to take the best independent wrestling talent from as far as we can financially go. We'll take local guys, but We want the best independent talent. It was supposed to kind of be like the way that it was described at the time was like the all-star game of independent talent. We're gonna take the top guys from all these other feds and we're gonna fucking pit them against each other in Ring of Honor, and we're gonna find out who the best professional wrestlers are. And you had guys like Bryan Danielson, who was great technically, and then you had guys like Christopher Daniels, who was a veteran at the time, who was a little bit more entertainment than wrestler, but could really fucking wrestle. You remember Christopher Daniels, the fucking fallen angel. They had a litany of guys that would come through, but the one guy that they had that didn't give a shit about any of that wrestling bullshit. He was a violent motherfucker, and as small as he was a scary motherfucker. People feared him, and that was Homicide. They actually used to have a little joke where they were calling ROH the Ring of Homicide for forever because he was causing all kinds of damage. He was busting motherfuckers with forks and having barbed wire matches and cutting motherfuckers up. He was a fucking dangerous son of a bitch. And the funny thing is that if you took the hardcore shit away, he was still an awesome wrestler. So like the hardcore
like that
shit
match he had with Bryan.
Yeah,
Danielson.
I mean,
He had
he had a great feud with Bryan Danielson, a great feud with Colt Cabana, a great feud with CM Punk, a great feud with Joe, a great feud against the Briscoes, regardless of who his partner was. Homicide would team with Joe against the Briscoes, the Rottweilers with Homicide and Low Key together, with my boy Julius. Yeah. Julius Stokes doing all that crazy shit. Oh man, what a fucking gimmick! What a fucking gimmick! What a fucking pro! And I always remembered him when I was a kid as a standout because he was so. I mean, he wasn't small; he was a grown man, but in comparison to the people that were there, he wasn't the biggest dude. But he was the one that everybody was just fucking. Like Joe wasn't afraid, Low Key wasn't afraid, right? Because they were also dangerous dudes. But Homicide's reputation in wrestling was that he was a scary motherfucker and that he was legit tough. So even when he left Ring of Honor, when he would do other dates at other shows and people would cut promos about their opponents, it was always, we'll see who the best wrestler is. And well, I can't wait to face whatever they faced Homicide, the promo was almost the same. I just gotta survive. You know what I'm saying? Like this how it is. Like he like Homicide was one of those characters. He didn't give a shit if you won or lost. He just really wanted to fucking hurt you. Mm-hmm. And he got creative. I'll never forget the time that he made Colt Cabana. They did a thing where they were beating up Colt Cabana, and he put a fucking tube down Colt Cabana, like he was shoving it into his mouth, indicating that he was gonna shove it down his throat, and then he was pouring bleach into the fucking tube, and he's just like, what the fuck is he doing? He's trying to poison. He can't be stopped. He's a maniac, goddammit. And that's one of the things that Homicide said in an interview recently when he made his announcement about the retirement. That gosh, I wish I had the interviewer here, and I apologize for not shouting out his name. If you're listening to this segment and you know exactly who it was, please feel free to tag. I mean no disrespect to taking his question, but he had asked Homicide, when it's all said and done and the career is over, what do you want to be remembered as? How do you want Homicide to be remembered? And Homicide didn't hesitate. He goes, I just want to be remembered as a badass dude. I was just a badass motherfucker. And Sir D, mission accomplished. That's an easy one.
You definitely live up to the name Homicide for sure.
Yeah, buddy.
You were killing people.
It was attempting murder every single time out, and it was so good. There was one of my favorite things of all time. It was Homicide and Punk, and they're fighting. They're fighting in the ring, and it spills to the outside. And I forget what venue it was. I think it's on YouTube too. I'm wondering if I could find it, but they're fighting in the ring, and then they're fighting into the crowd, and they start fighting into the street almost, and the cameras are following them. And I did find it. Let me see if I can fucking Oh yeah, okay. Let me see if I'm gonna lower it down a little bit because it just blew my eardrums out. So what I didn't realize, I don't think anybody did, was unless you were in the building, they were fighting into the street. They were fighting around outside. Next door to the venue where they were having the show, there was a strip club, and they fought into the strip club. And there's a point where I think Punk knocks down Homicide. And there's some girl dancing, and he just turns to her, "You whore," or something like that. Like, let me show the clip. I found it. It's literally 20 seconds. Just hold on 1 second, and I'll play it here. They're in the strip club right here. And listen to this.
Dancing? Where's the brass pole? Break out your dollar bill, Mark. No. Well, you're not going to tip
They
us.
spun the wheel.
Make the deal. Spin the wheel. Make the deal. Uses the pole. Lands the kick. They're going for the cover. Title change. No. Only CM Punk.
What?
Hey, she won't even dance.
That part didn't show, but yeah, he was like he starts shimmying at the stripper or whatever, and they're trying to clear this.
Looks weird, bro.
I know. They start trying to clear the stage to try to get him out of there. And at one point, he goes by one of the women. They were saying something. He was like, "What?" She said, "He goes, you're a whore." And he was just Punk being Punk, but like Homicide being a part, because Homicide's not going to sit there and be outdone by anybody. That was why there used to be a thing called the Three Kings of wrestling, Three Kings of Ring of Honor. It was Joe, Punk, and Homicide. Those were the three. And they used to have knockdown dragouts all the time. It was a fun. I'll give. This is what I'll give Homicide. He wants to be remembered as a badass, and completely 100%. That's mission accomplished, right? But there's one word that I've always attached to him that I think he kind of always tried to avoid, but entertainer. He was a fabulous entertainer. Like I said, if you strip away the fork and the bleach and the barbed wire and all the fucking ridiculous stuff that he was just a magician with, and you just have Homicide in the ring with an opponent, it's magic. It's every time. And the day that he won the Ring of Honor World Title, when he finally beat Bryan Danielson for the world title, and that genuine emotion he had in the ring, he starts screaming, "It's the real deal." When I tell you, all of New York felt that win. Like, just if you knew Homicide the way that a lot of people did at that time, I didn't know him at the time, but now that I know him, just how much it takes for him to get through these shows and through these matches because of just the injuries and the time that's spent and all that stuff. And to have won the Ring of Honor World Title, it was almost like a reset button, because after that Ring of Honor World Title win, he has some more time in Ring of Honor, but he eventually winds up in TNA, and then he starts killing it in TNA. He's a part of LAX with Hernandez. They win the tag team titles multiple times. Feuds with like the Dudleys, AJ Styles and Daniels. I mean, they had a ton of opponents that they went through. Rock and Rave Infection, and then they separated, and they put Homicide in the X division. He becomes X division champion. He's fighting Red and Shark Boy and all the just fucking Sabin, and he's going through litany. He's been in the ring with the absolute fucking best. The best, and he was always up there with them no matter what. A lot of people say, and I'm on board, that the WWE probably should have picked him up a long time ago, even if they weren't going to use him as a performer. Just that brain, that knowledge, that experience. I always tell people, as good as you are at the activity, that doesn't mean you're going to be a great coach. Anybody in sports will tell you that. Michael Jordan could not coach if he wanted to save his life. Magic Johnson tried. He couldn't do it. Peyton Manning can't do it. Shaquille O'Neal can't do it. You can be great physically and not know how to coach. You can coach and not be great physically. Homicide was both. Homicide can get in the ring with somebody and absolutely, positively have a great match, and then he can leave the ring and have a great discussion about how that match should go, how that match should look, what you should be doing. He's excellent at that stuff. So it's the end of a career, and I couldn't be happier for him that he's ending it on his terms. So I'm excited for that. But as far as his health goes, I'll be honest, I'm a little on the nervous side, but I have faith in him and what he's capable of powering through. So happy for D, happy for Homicide, and you know, I would have loved to have seen it end on a bigger stage, but it was in Brooklyn. It was with people that he's close to, so to him that was his picture ending. So tip of the
Yeah, the
cap.
way
Hold on,
that he wanted it. So
exactly. Hold on, tip of the cap. Tip of the cap, sir, to you. And I'm all discombobulated. So tip of the cap to D, to the mentor. One last thing. I don't want to forget saying this. When my career started, the first interview I ever did, because when I got hooked up with Fighting Spirit Wrestling, when I was brought in for the first time for my first real professional wrestling gig, I had done other things in wrestling, but nothing really serious and nothing of any importance. No real role on the show. Setting up rings, setting up chairs, no real importance. I count that sometimes toward the due paying process, but not real wrestling experience. First time I ever got into wrestling, I was joining it with Fighting Spirit Wrestling with Joel and Jose Maximo, the Maximo Bros in Brooklyn. And they had brought me in to be an on air personality, interviewer, commentator, ring announcer, whatever, non wrestling talent. And the very first thing that I did in wrestling was interview Homicide. And that interview, I shared it the day of his last match. It's on my social media, my personal one, not the Orsini's Uncensored Mind one. It's not the best interview in the world, but it is a very cool one for me because it was the first time ever that I had ever done a pro wrestling interview before. And he was so cool about it. And he even told me before we did it, I'm not really good with like scripts and da 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 da. I just like to talk about whatever it is that's going on in my head. So just, ask me whatever it is you're gonna ask me, and then I'm just gonna go. And I'm like, I don't know no fucking better. I don't know what the fuck am I gonna ask you. All right, so that was the first time we had ever met. We met 1,000 times after that. Um, he pushed for me to be more vocal within FSW. I've seen him. I saw him be a big advocate of mine when it comes to speaking. He liked the way that I spoke. The very first in-ring thing that I ever did was in a promo with Gilbert, who was the WWC, the Puerto Rico heavyweight champion, Shane Douglas, Sammy Callahan, and Homicide. And the only reason that I got that opportunity to be a part of that promo was because of Homicide. He was the one that was for me to be more of a representative of the company. So, first promo I've ever had to cut in the wrestling business in my entire life had 4 legends in it. Pressure, but not for me because I'm the best. So I did my thing. After that, as a matter of fact, it was that promo where I felt like to him, I kind of validated his advocating for me because when that promo was over and I had set everything up the way that I did with no help from anybody, they were just like, try to make this make sense and do this with the 4 people. And okay. So I just went into my wrestling vault and picked out something that I maybe remembered from years ago on TV and used it in this promo in my own way. And it hit. And everybody was just like, yes, good, perfect setup. Even Shane Douglas, when it was over, good shit, good shit. That was that was my first promo ever. He was just like, get the fuck out of here, for real. So Homicide was like really big. So like after that, even when I left Fighting Spirit,
it's funny you're saying that because I distinctively remember you doing your wrestling stuff. Like it was just you doing your wrestling stuff, right? Like it's whatever. It's not you're just doing your thing. And I just remember out of nowhere getting a text message, and that text message was an image of a phone number, which was Homicide's phone number. And I'm like,
yeah,
so like the Homicide, like
yeah,
like you. Oh, so you actually talking to real people now?
Yeah.
Like that's my first memory before you started meeting like the Shanes and all that stuff, and you started talking to
Yeah.
like more and more people.
I
That's
did
the
that a few
first,
times.
but that's my first. I don't know. I'm not even saying that's the first time. I'm just saying
Yeah.
that's my first memory of.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's not
I think I
talking to his
also-
friends anymore. He's talking to
Yeah.
like people that actually do this now. So I
Yeah.
always remember that moment of you sending a
I think
screenshot
I
like,
also sent,
dog, look who's like,
yeah.
this is
I think I
crazy.
also, if I memory serves correct, I also sent you guys Abyss, and I think I also sent you Rey Mysterio, because that was big for me. When I got Rey Mysterio's phone number, I was nervous because I don't want my phone stolen now. Like if I was to
right.
lose my
Like,
phone, if I lose my phone, someone now has Rey Mysterio's personal phone number on my fucking phone. And if they call it, it's going to be from my phone, so that he knows that I'm the one that lost the phone.
Yeah,
It
you
was
on
too
that
much
fuck
pressure.
shit. So get out. Nah, you're not cool no more.
But yeah, he was a big advocate for me, very much so. When I started promoting in Texas, he was one of the first guys that was like, "Hey, if you ever need me, I'll go down. I got miles." That's what he told me. He goes, "You don't even have to pay for my flight. I got miles. Just we'll work out the fee or whatever. But if you need a main event guy, I'll come down there and do some shit for you." We cut a promo for it. I never got a chance to ever fucking use it. I have a promo video. I should post that now that I'm thinking about it, because that would be pretty cool to share. But I have a video that me and him did together, hyping up his appearance at Red River Pro Wrestling. It never ended up happening, but we got ahead of it just in case we could make it happen. He wanted to put something together about him going to Texas, and he would make a joke. He doesn't even have to pay a hotel. I'm gonna sleep at Hernandez's house and all kinds of shit. He was a really cool dude, man. And it sucks that he's retiring, but at the same time, it's cool that he's retiring in his own way. So
Hey man,
this is
it's
more of
kind
a
of like it's like the Triple H deal, dude. I'd rather him not than him not be here. So let him focus on that. Let him focus on that. He's going out the way that he wants. He was able to bow out, and hopefully he comes back with good news, making an appearance, making announcements, saying he's feeling good. So let's just keep the energy positive. Fuck it.
There you go.
You know what I mean? Put his boots down on the ring and leave that fucking man alone. Let him get healthy.
He's a good dude, man, and I wish him the best. So, yeah. Episode 300 in the books. Plenty more to go. We've got WrestleMania around the corner. I would love to be live for that. But that's still a few weeks away. We were actually pumped. We were watching Raw, and they were like 26 days away from WrestleMania. I was like, oh my God,
that's crazy. It's crazy.
Let's do the move. And the card is still kind of filling out. I cannot wait to see how whoever we get for this roundtable. I have a feeling this is going to be a really kind of, I don't know if controversial is the word, but we're going to have a lot of difference of opinion on this particular roundtable, because I don't know if I'm digging. Yeah. I don't know if I'm digging how some of this shit is shaping out so far. Not that I'm not going to like some of the matches, but like how we got here. I don't know. I think I'm spoiled from last year, because last year everything just kind of fell into place so perfectly for so many of the matches, and I feel like that's not happening now. Like we're getting to matches that I'm probably going to enjoy, but we got here in a weird way. But we'll talk more about that another time. You mentioned earlier about because we did January to January, but I don't know if I should count the new anniversary should we have a new anniversary for this show, or should we keep the old one? The old anniversary always happened in October, but then we ended it in October and we restarted in January.
No,
so I don't know which one.
October is the anniversary of the show.
Right, and we didn't do anything for last October. It completely slipped my mind because we were doing so many other things, but I kind of want to do something for this one, because this one would be 7. So that's October.
It's gonna be a pretty tough October for me. So I mean, it'd probably be a lot to celebrate. I'm thinking I'm not. I forget that I didn't say nothing on here yet, but yeah, October's gonna be kind of big for me.
That's up to you. I've left it completely open, so it was whatever you decide to do.
Not yet.
I guess.
Not yet. Like
Okay,
2 more.
cool, fair enough.
See. Not yet.
Well,
But
we still have.
October is gonna be a pretty So we might that might be the one to kind of do something.
Okay. All right. Well, WrestleMania is right around the corner, and don't forget SummerSlam is going to be in mi casa. So, and I don't mean literally in my house. I mean in my house, my area, SummerSlam. So you might get yourself another helping, another fixing of some live wrestling action. So it should be cool. So episode 300 in the books. I have not eaten yet, and I cannot absolutely wait. And this time when I edit, I cannot actually wait to edit this one because this is going to be so much easier because of the video aspect. I don't have to do a whole lot of editing with this one. So that's pretty cool. I'm super excited. I'm still editing the full episode. This has been like a part-time job getting this YouTube channel just the fucking way that I want this shit to look.
If you want it to go, that's kind of like how you got to treat it, unfortunately.
That's how you got to do it. No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
Let's start up.
All right.
I'm gonna upgrade this shit. This is 300. I'm hoping by we gotta we'll refine it. We'll get the audio better and stuff like that.
About like episode 410, we'll probably get the.
God damn!
We'll probably get the.
Yeah, I'll start putting $20 a check away or some shit. I guess. God damn!
They still got layaway programs.
Nah, I already kind of know the one I want that attaches to the desk here with an arm. I've seen it. I just gotta fucking get it. Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't know if I want to do USB because I did USB and it never really feels as good as like the setup you got with the actual
mods.
Thing
yeah.
On the desk
I have a new mic that's in. I have a mic that's in there that's practically unused, and it's a really good one because it was the one. You remember my boy was Andrew Litt? He used to come on here for the AEW shows when we were talking about AEW. I loved his mic. He sounded so good. I was like, oh, let me get that. I got it. I didn't like the setup because I was just like, damn, I can't mod this. I can't change my pitch or my sound or nothing. So I was like,
yeah.
So we'll figure it out. All right, folks. Episode 300. We're getting out of here, and that's pretty much it. Let's get into the end here. We'll see you. Oh, thank you for listening. Thank you for downloading. Thank you for sharing, and of course, thank you guys for enjoying 300 episodes. This green screen shit is for the birds. There you go. We'll see you guys later.
Mic drop. Wait a minute. This is too much. Cooking it like a pro. Wrap it up, everybody. Show's over.